I am very excited to be here with Prisha, who is currently at UPenn, one of the world's best business schools.
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. And it's so great to be here, being with Project Clay. I think it's been a great experience. Hi, everyone. I am Prasha Arora. I am an international student at the Wharton School, and I haven't really declared my major yet, but maybe I was thinking finance and real estate here. I come from Amritsar, Punjab, in India, and was my ED application. So I'm so glad to be here, and I definitely say where you're going, wherever you apply, wherever you get in, college is a life-changing experience, and I think you all will have a great time.
First question that we're getting, since Shark Tank, we started getting a lot of younger viewers, right? Ninth, 10th standard. They asked me, was like, what should we do to prepare our profile for Ivy League? So can you talk about some extracurriculars you built or some activities you did that you think played a part in getting you in?
Of course. So, I didn't really prepare my extracurriculars specifically for college.
Right.
I definitely give this advice to everyone that do what you like and build upon that. Don't do something specifically for colleges, but do that because you like it. And one of my mentors gave me this advice, and it has still stuck with me today, that your profile should be singularly talented and wonderfully diverse. You should be good at multiple things. Your profile should be holistic, especially when you're applying to the US, right? But you should be singularly talented in something that you are great at, and you should build upon that. And like I said, just build upon something that you're passionate about. Don't do something just, oh, college is like this, or somebody said that they did this and they got it. I mean, that's not the way to go about it. Everybody has their personal set of interests, experiences, and the way to go about is actually building on that. What I saw was colleges really value public speaking skills, leadership skills, your innovation. So I would say definitely touch upon all these values and make your profile in such a way that you're not repeating those values, although they might overlap, but it's ultimately how you present those values in a college application.
Absolutely. But what were your top three, you'd say, in terms of biggest and
Uh,
important facts?
okay, so I had debating extensively on my college application.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give a very clear view. I did not prepare my extracurriculars in my ninth and 10th grade. COVID
Oh,
season tha, so I didn't really get the time to do it, or I didn't really know much about it. It was in my 11th grade that I decided, oh, college season is about to approach and I need to build my profile. And I used to debate very well, I'd say declamations and speech competitions back in my middle school. But it was like in my grade 11th, I switched schools and I took up debating professionally. So I went from school debating to international debating in 2 years. I debated with my school and independently through Indian Debating League. And I think that was a great platform for me. They trained me, they helped me reach international platforms. I made some great friends along the way. And I'd say the other extracurricular was my passion project about community service. I was really passionate about women being empowered. So back at home, we had Girl Up Amritsar, a little branch of Girl Up back at home. I led a 50-member team. Although I wasn't the founding member, I took up the presidentship, and it was a great journey. I'd say I'd never done something better than that because it genuinely made me so happy. We hosted self defense boot camps for 1,000 plus girls. We hosted multiple sanitation drives. We raised money through fundraisers, donated those to our eye hospital, went to little girls' school. We hosted clothing drives. I mean, I'd say so. The idea behind that was, oh, that was something that really made me happy. That was something I was very passionate about coming from a small town and understanding the things that a woman has to go through or a girl has to go through while navigating her education or things like leadership. So that really resonated with me, and I enjoyed that so much. And I'd say the third extracurricular would be definitely my internships. I internshiped at a chartered accountancy firm, although that didn't involve anything too technical, but I helped them. I understood the technicals. I also worked with my parents' business during my summer break, launched their online platform, synthesized inventory management processes, and reduced excess inventory by 20%, launched new product lines. So I think because I'm also very passionate about the retail and design industry, so as a college student, you'll realize that there's so many things that you're interested in, but you have to decide something. But yeah, that was I think I'd say my third extracurricular.
And then what was your school board? What were your test scores like, SAT, ACT? And then just in terms of school boards, if you have any advice and students in what they should pick, subject they should pick, etc.
I'll say I did CBSE. I gave test optional. I did not give the SAT. Uh, but now that all the colleges are reinstating it, I would definitely recommend everyone to start preparing for the SAT in their grade 11th. I'd say if you're doing CBSE A level APs are a great way to go about it because you get some academic rigor that you might be facing once you come to the US. I had a balance. I actually did CBSE and three APs along with it. But if you ask about my opinion on boards, I'd say A levels are actually a great way because you see the CBSE curriculum is very different from how education system is in the US. Right. So it's either you struggle a little bit before only when you take IGCSE or A levels, or you struggle a little bit when you come to college
Correct.
because your whole study pattern changes. It like completely changes. I can't memorize. For example, I'll give you an example. I am a CBSE student. I used to write two whole pages for a 4 mark question in my economics exam.
Yeah.
Now I give my economics exam. It was a 10 mark question, and
Yeah.
there were like six parts in it. And the answers were literally like two, 3 words calculations.
No way.
I was so skeptical. Oh, am I doing this right? It's
Yeah.
10 marks, and I'm just writing answers like one word answers. Plus, I was so used to studying theoretically, mugging up all these things. And when I had to come here, I had to solve so many papers, doing actually hands-on practice. So I definitely say if you do IB, it's a great way to actually get waivers for some very basic college courses. For example, a few of my friends who did IB or got great scores on AP in different subjects, like you got a 5 on 5, they actually skipped their beginner level classes and took some advanced level classes, which was actually great.
Yeah.
And the content is almost similar. So, I'm not saying that CBSE won't help you get to top colleges. It definitely does help you, but it's, I'd say, a personal choice. Like I told you, struggle before, struggle later. So
Correct.
I think that's the idea behind that.
Correct. Nee. I also did the ICSE to IB switch, so the whole research and everything. But yeah, I also
Yeah.
noticed that everyone that did A levels was just smarter than all of us, like in our math class. And then IB kind of made them dumber. Like I saw that process where all of us that came in from different boards, we came in with a certain level, and then I don't feel smarter after 12th. Like I think we all kind of went through that. And then when I went to college, it was an instant difference, even though I did just one semester in the US. It was still pretty,
Yeah.
pretty different. So
Yeah.
fair.
I'd say there's, I think, difference in subjects. CBSE gave me a very good, I was a commerce student, so it gave me a very good interview of accounts, economics. So that those things I knew. Now I'll take an accounts class next semester. I do know the basics. I did economics. I knew the basics. I had a pretty good idea about the
Hmm.
theory, like I told you. But
Correct.
I'd say there's a whole shift in your study style.
Absolutely. Coming to, since like you're talking about कि बहुत aspects होते हैं, one is a very important one is essays, which is what most of our students, because we've been running for a year, so most of our students came to us 12th के end में कि बहुत सब essays की बात है. So and that because there are so many supplementals. So any what would be your top few tips to write standout essays?
All right, so that is a very good question actually. When you write your essays, I'll definitely say please do not use AI. Do not do that anyway. I mean, I know GPT writes some great level essays, but I think that's not the way to go about it because if you get detected, oh, there's a lot of mess that you do not want to get involved into.
Correct.
You yourself can write great essays. You need to craft your essays like I told you according to yourselves.
Yeah.
I took this advice from someone that do not read other essays because you get that idea.
Hmm.
in your head that, oh, this person wrote like this, maybe I can try to mold my answer like that.
Correct.
Okay, getting an idea, obviously some students would be like, oh, let me read some sample essays before I write mine. But I think there's that idea that sticks to their mind that, oh, this was something that somebody did. For example, there was this great sample common app essays that I read, which made it very hard for me to actually think about my own idea. So that is one advice, because colleges definitely, they want to see cohesion in your essays. They want to see how well you've articulated your ideas, but they
Correct.
want to see some originality as well.
Correct.
So I'd say if you really want an idea, or if you want to see how other people are doing is, first sit, brainstorm your own ideas, try to write a few drafts, then look at others, because that way you have something of your own before actually seeing somebody else's work.
Fair enough.
And I'll once again say the best way to go about is brainstorm for a very long time. Okay, 3 months or 4 months is a very good time, but I say do not try to write an essay in one night. That's not an ideal situation, because we do not want to do that. Take your time, because at least every essay will take about 7 to 8 drafts. That's minimum. A
Yeah.
good essay will take 10 to 15 drafts, and that varies from person to person. But definitely take your time, think about it, because if you okay, write an essay, leave it for a week. After you come back to it for a week, you'll think, oh, what did I write? You will definitely want to change the whole thing. So
Absolutely.
I think you'll get the best essays over time. So don't try to finish it at once, and just be original, be yourself. Don't GPT, and you'll be good.
Solid advice. My co-founder Shivom is from Chandigarh too, and he also applied ED to UPenn. So I remember when he was applying, uska only the ending. He changed the ending 13 times because he was so stressed out.
Because you need that impact ending, that
Correct.
something that leaves an impact on the admissions officer.
Correct, correct. So it is a great balance because I come from the perspective of I had great extracurriculars, but everything else was down the drain. Like I remember my essay I wrote 2 hours before the deadline. Not even I didn't even give myself a night.
Oh,
And then Shvom had been writing his essays for like 8 months. He was, oh my God. Yeah. So we're able to give a good balance when we're charting out student journeys. But solid advice. And
yeah,
then,
but I'd say
yeah, please go ahead.
I definitely say that, okay, definitely prepare your profile extracurriculars beforehand, but don't start stressing about your essays like 2 years before college.
Yeah.
Go about, and this is one advice that I'll definitely give to everyone. Please do not make your college list on the basis of just their I'd say their rankings. Actually understand what you want, and you can't do that before you're actually in plus two or a few months later. So decide what kind of college, environment, class size, classes, which college is good for which subject. Don't just go on the prestige, and make your college list very wisely.
Fair enough. तो I think आपकी कॉलेज की तो बात करनी नहीं चाहिए.
Damn.
What a story, though. What a story. So, for reference, Prisha just applied to one school, got in, and that was that. She wasn't even planning to apply to the US, which is why I think this is such a fresh case because students come to us. I remember there was one kid that came to us in eighth and said, "Am I too late?" I said, "Boss, no, don't worry." Yeah, right.
Oh,
Bro, we have sign-ups from parents that say, "Oh, I have a kid that's 2.5 years old. I want him to go to Harvard eventually. Please chart out a roadmap." So
oh my. This process got so much more stressful. Maybe I didn't know much about this when I was applying. Maybe it was stressful even back then. But now that I've been hearing so many stories of people reach out to me, like in the sixth or seventh grade, I'll just be like, do what you like right now. Don't stress much about what a college likes.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what I think this is also like to the parents. Mine didn't know anything about study abroad, so they didn't push anything on me. But I'm seeing like there was a parent has an 8-year-old kid said, "Can you train him for Olympiads?" I was like, "Why?" She said, "Because I want to send him to Stanford and Howard eventually." I said, "Boss, वैसे नहीं होता admission. Please don't do this to your kid." So it's been interesting being in this industry. Definitely a lot of. So that's why I think this was such a refreshing interview that we just had to put out कि आपने 11th में start किया and still at UPenn as an international. It's insane.
I really, all those who went, who were in the COVID batch, they had some, I think, 2 years of staying behind because everything was closed in ninth and 10th. All I knew was I had to give my two board exams because CBSE made two board exams. So I had to give them every 6 months. And in plus one, I realized, oh, it's time to work on my profile right now. But still, then I didn't do anything specifically for college. I just knew, oh, I have to apply to college. I don't know which college right now. So I'm going to focus on making a holistic profile as to what I like.
Hmm.
So that was the idea behind it.
Solid, solid. Yeah. No, that is definitely the best way to go about it. And did you have an interview for UPenn?
Yes, so UPenn interviews are not evaluative. They're basically alumni coffee chats. So
Hmm.
the alumni reach out to you. They're not evaluative. Evaluative, mostly schools have these alumni interviews which are evaluative, but UPenn did not have an evaluative one. But it was, yeah, I met an alumni actually.
ठीक है तो ऐसे कुछ आपने प्रिपेयर नहीं किया था वो जस्ट कैजुअल कॉन्वर्सेशन
No, actually, mine was pretty brutal. P different people at Penn had different experiences. So actually, it was so bad with me that I was at my school. I got an interview call. I was like, okay. Plus, it was a different time zone, so I
हाँ
miscalculated the time. While leaving my school, I was like, oh, I still have 2 hours to prepare, and I'll go home. My interview's in 2 hours. And then I got a Google Calendar notification, oh, your interview's in 1 hour. I rushed back home, changed into some professional clothes, sat in front of the laptop. But my interview was pretty brutal. Like after admission, when everybody was talking, they were like, oh, my interview was so chill. We talked about Thanksgiving and how did it go? What are you doing for vacations? And my interviewer was like, oh, how do you select your stocks for competitions? That was crazy. That was a crazy interview.
लास्टली यार कि LORs any tips on who you should be getting it from is it just your favorite teacher or
I'd say, yeah, mine went by my one of my favorite teachers also, but he was also my math teacher.
got
So
it?
I'd say, okay, don't go too overboard with your LORs also that, oh, I'll get this from this person in this hierarchical position, but it should be someone who actually knows you because I've seen this in some places that oh counselors will tell or students themselves will give templates to teachers
Yeah.
that oh this is what you should be writing, but my advice would be just give them your resume
Hmm.
because okay they need some reference to talk about what you've done, they know what you've done but they don't know the specific things that you have written in your resume, right?
Right.
So definitely ask your favorite teacher or the most interested subject that you are in or the major that you are actually applying to. I applied for a management major, business administration. So I went with, I think, my business studies LOR and my math LOR.
Hmm.
So, and one was my counselor's LOR for common application. So I think that is the right way. Just don't go too overboard also, but actually get it from someone who knows you and who can give the right picture.
Fair enough. Great. And any final advice to any student that's watching this out there?
I'll definitely say please do not stress much. You will reach where you are meant to be. And like I said, it's going to be a great experience.
Okay, great. And yeah, just at Project Clay, this is what we do. We connect you with mentors like Prisha. That first, like she said, Kiar, understand if the college is right for you. So they can give you first-hand experience and they know what the college is looking for at this point. And we've already seen acceptances to NYU, Northeastern, Cornell, Birmingham, Warwick, LSE with scholarships. So if you're looking to apply, it's a great time in whichever stand you're, except sixth or seventh, we will not take you. Please have fun. Rather than that, thank you so much, Prisha, for being here. I think this is very helpful for our audience.
So much for having me.
Great.